Before becoming the multi-billion-dollar company it is today, Citrix faced near collapse in the 1990s. Pushing into the emerging market of PC-based terminal computing, their first product, MULTIUSER, was built on Microsoft OS 2. But just 3 days before launch in 1991, Microsoft pulled out of OS 2 development to focus solely on Windows. It was devastating. Citrix had bet on the wrong horse, and it nearly cost them everything. But from the ashes of OS 2, they found new hope in Windows and struck a surprising deal with Microsoft. Let's talk about legacy network technology. I'm the Vintage Collector, and these are my stories. By 1991, Citrix had burned through $6 million in funding. They were ready to ship MULTIUSER when Microsoft's OS 2 withdrawal blindsided them. MULTIUSER, a cut-down version of OS 2 with no DOS support, was suddenly obsolete. Inside Citrix, the shutdown option was seriously on the table. But CEO Roger Roberts and co-founder Ed Iacobucci weren't ready to fold. And Iacobucci wasn't just an ordinary co-founder, he was one of the original architects of OS 2 while at IBM. So if anyone could squeeze value out of it, it was him. Their original investors were reluctant to commit more unless new backers joined in. Enter Intel and, surprisingly, Microsoft. With a new $5 million lifeline, Citrix pushed forward with MULTIUSER 2.0. Still based on OS 2, but this time OS 2 2.0, and now with DOS support, network stack integration of Alarm Manager and NetWare, and even the ability to run Windows applications, at least partially. However, not through serial consoles yet, as seen in my previous episode, but it was a start. Revenues began to climb, $1.8 million in 1992 and $5 million by 1993. Development soon began a new product, WinView. Still based on OS 2 2.0, it marked a major leap forward. WinView is notoriously elusive. The only surviving version, 2.3, hides on an old Ware CD-ROM, and it's incomplete. Still, it's enough for a partial demo. Just don't boot from the inst.2 image, or you'll hit this error.
So why include that floppy if it's broken?
Because it's the boot disk from WinView 2.2 and you need it to verify the upgrade to 2.3, as this is an upgrade version. Now, you may ask if there was a WinView 1.0 or 2.0. Probably not. Wikipedia mentions a MultiWin 2.0 in 1992, but I think that's a mislabeling of MULTIUSER 2.0. There's no sign of a standalone MultiWin product. MultiWin was, to my best knowledge, a technology, not a product, Citrix's key innovation for enabling multi-users to run Windows sessions on one machine. It would later form the backbone for both WinFrame and Windows NT 4.0 Terminal Server Edition. WinView itself seems to have emerged around 1993, possibly under the name WinView for networks, as indicated by various media sources. Whether it started at version 2.2 or 2.1 is unclear, but the disk image proves that 2.2 definitely existed. Based on the file stamps, version 2.3 followed sometime in 1994. That lines up with reports that Citrix didn't add TCP/IP support until 94. And yes, the version I found is missing that TCP/IP disk, so you'll need to disable that option during install. So you're essentially limited to IPX networking. Still rooted in OS2, WinView was a transitional product, a stepping stone before WinFrame arrived to the scene. Inspired by the OS2 Museum's version timeline, I examined the OS2 kernels from MULTIUSER 2.0, WinView 2.2 and 2.3. MULTIUSER 2.0 reports kernel version 2.053 with base OS 6.177H, placing it between the OS2 2.0 limited and general availability versions. WinView 2.2 identifies as version 2.208. WinView 2.3 has kernel 2.305 and probably base OS 6.466, so somewhere between OS2 2.01 in October 92 and OS2 2.1 in May 1993. This suggests Microsoft may still have had source code access to OS2 2.0 even after the breakup with IBM. With WinView finally installed, the interface looks familiar. We're greeted by a chattier message of the day, and the app launcher now includes more tools. Remember to configure a proper admin account. The default Citrix account self-destructs after 10 days. WinView's namesake becomes clearer after login. It includes full Windows support. 6 extra disks install a runtime environment, launching a personal Windows session for each user. And thanks to NetWare support and optionally TCP/IP, users could log into the graphical Windows sessions over the network. A necessity by 1993 when Windows had clearly become the dominant platform. Unfortunately, this incomplete 2.3 release also lacks the client software, so I can't demo the full session. A dead end for now. Still, Citrix gained traction, hitting 10 million in revenues by 1994. By 1995, the future was clear. It was time to move on from OS2. That year, Citrix launched WinFrame 1.5, built on Windows NT 3.51. Here, MultiWin returned, not as a product as mentioned before, but as the core technology. It enabled true multi-user Windows NT sessions, which was a game changer. This breakthrough came directly from Citrix's strategic partnership with Microsoft. A multi-million-dollar deal that would reshape both companies' futures as Microsoft licensed MultiWin for Windows NT. Which leads us to a fun detail. You couldn't upgrade a WinFrame NT 3.51 system to stock NT 4.0. But with NT 4.0 Terminal Server Edition you could, and then install the then kernel MetaFrame on top. MetaFrame wasn't just a Citrix branded shell, it extended Microsoft's Terminal Server Edition with new features, better management tools, and UNIX support. Yes, Citrix even offered MetaFrame clients for Solaris, HP Unix, and other Unix flavors. Which brings us full circle right back where I started my terminal venture earlier this year. Sun's Sunray terminals and the vision of seamless integration with Windows-based terminal environments. But that is a story for another day. What's your take on Citrix's comeback story? Do you think Citrix would have survived without Microsoft stepping in, or was it destined to fail on OS2? Let me know in the comments. I'm the Vintage Collector, and this was my story for today. Thanks for watching, and see you again next Sunday.